season. Former NFL quarterback Orlando Scandrick is joining us now. Orlando, will the Packers be able to fix this?
Absolutely. It's an easy fix. You go back and look at that game. The Packers were up 10-0 with the ball, getting ready to complete a good stroll in the park. Aaron makes a mistake. Dean anticipates, guesses right, pick six, change the whole game. I don't look for Aaron to make those type of mistakes. And the X factor is going to be the weather. You can tell me what you want about Tom Brady playing in New England for 19 years, but when you've been living in 89 degrees and you got to go play in 18 degrees, it's a totally different story.
I agree. I think what happened was it wasn't the fact that they blitzed him. It was how they blitzed him. They brought a lot of double linebacker. They lined up Levante David on the outside and pressured him. A lot of times they were bringing linebackers and corners, and they were dropping Shaq, and they was dropping JPP, dropping Sue out in the passing lane, knowing the ball's going to have to come out quick. I think these are adjustments, as you mentioned, these are adjustments that the Packers can make rather easily. But the thing is, the question that I want to have is that, will the Packers run the football? And I'm not necessarily saying they have to run the footballs like they did against the Rams, because I don't see that happening. But you cannot let a defense play the run on the way to your quarterback, because if they do that, that's what happens. The game gets out of hand in a hurry. And we saw what happened last week. New Orleans had dominated Tampa in the previous two matchups. But what they do, they turn the football over. That's what happened in the first matchup. Green Bay, even though they were getting pressured, it wasn't until they turned the football over, back-to-back possessions, it snowballed, got out of hands. And at that point in time, there are very few quarterbacks, very, very few, that when they have multiple turnovers early in the ball game, they're able to overcome that, because that's, you're like, man, I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful.
Yeah, I only think there's one quarterback right now that I'm comfortable with early turnovers in the game.
Homeboy.
You know who that is.
No, homeboy. Everybody knows about him, Skip.
If you really want to dive deeper into this, and Skip, I know you fuming. You can bet another case of dues, and then I'll use it. I'll use it for Shannon's debt again. But if you really think about it, Tampa's defense is really, really shaky. Aaron Jones is the X factor. He's great at running the ball. He's great at catching the ball at the backfield. And, Adam Lazard has come on. Valdez Scantling is, their deep threat. He's catching the ball. And Devontae Adams is completely healthy. And he's rolling. He's on a different level. And I think at this stage in Aaron's career, he's ready to do whatever it takes to win. And, Green Bay's defense, they're equipped with pass rushers. They have long corners. They got Jair Alexander, who's a great corner. They got some ball hawk and safeties. And, that I just don't think that Tampa Bay is committed to running. I think they faced a hobbled Drew Brees indoors. A lot of things went their way. The Jared Cook turnover in the third quarter obviously helped them swing the momentum back their way, and then Drew consistently threw it to the other team. But I don't look to see 12 on the green team do that. It's going to be a very exciting matchup, but I think this is the end of the road for Thomas, terrific Tom, Green Bay in 4 quarters.
So what do you got? Packers by 21?
No, I got Packers by 10. South Florida and Green Bay is totally different.
Will you give me 9 for another case?
I ain't giving you 9. No, that's a sucker bet. And they always, when I grew up, they told me, when you walk in the room, if you don't know who the sucker is, it's you. You don't get that.
The sucker I'm talking to just said they're going to win by 10.
I didn't say 10. I said they win easy. I mean, I say maybe 10, but I ain't gonna give you 10. I'll give you 7.
Oh,
lucky
number 7.
What I gave him? I gave 7 for 5.
So let's go back to that fateful day, October 18th, in 88-degree weather down in Tampa Bay. And you're trying to tell me, young Mr. Scandrick, that it was actually sort of a blip, not a trend, that Aaron made a mistake on the out route to Devontae. There's a corner blitz. I got to get rid of it a little quicker than I want to. And Jamel Dean picks it and houses it. And then he comes right back the next time, and it's another third one. This is the third down, 3rd and 3. And he throws it the other direction against, I think it was a corner blitz. That's what we figured. I think it's Murphy Bunting.
Bunny Murphy.
Yeah. And it gets popped up in the air, and Mike Edwards almost houses it, takes to the 2-yard line. So if at that point, obviously, I was rooting for Brady, and I thought, silly me, I thought Aaron Rodgers would get it back together and make a game of it, because it was only 14-10 Tampa at that point. And guess what happened? After that, he had the ball 8 more times, and 7 of those times he punted. And at the end of the half, he got sacked by Sue, who's been in his head his whole career, and they just kneeled out the rest of the clock.
Wait. His whole career?
Yeah.
Oh, the Detroit Lions ain't been relevant none of his career.
Okay, but
So
Sue scares Aaron Rodgers. Aaron actually, after that game in Tampa Bay, Aaron tried to actually bury the hatchet with Sue by asking him to meet him after the game to hug it out.
He asked him,
What are you talking about?
He said, no, we
hug it out. Who's ever hugged it out after a game?
Aaron's a nice guy. A nice guy with a good upbringing.
Yeah.
Got some terrific parents.
Yeah.
Was raised the right way. And I don't want to cut you off, but let's just go back. He threw the first interception, and Aaron Rodgers is a hell of a competitor. And it became kind of a thing where he didn't want to lose, so he forces it into Devontae the next time. And then, the game kind of got away from him. But what I will promise you is, in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Lambeau Field, it won't get out of hand for him. The stage is not too big for him. This is his chance to take the torch. He will take the torch. I'm saying Packers in the Super Bowl versus my homie.
Against who?
My homie.
Oh, your homie. Okay.
Yeah, homeboy.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Look, here's the point. Todd Bowles will come after you. And once he gets you on the run, he will try to bury you. And that's what happened in this game. Because through the first 3 quarters, Tampa blitzed 50% of the snaps. So every other snap, they're coming with another blitz. And Aaron Rodgers has usually eaten blitzes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in his career. But that day, he did not. And that day, he had the best pass-blocking left tackle in all of pro football in David Bakhtiari, who is no longer able to play because he's gone for the year. Man, you don't think Todd Bowles is going to come after Aaron again? And one thing, Aaron has some LeBron in him. I compare them. He's got some front runner in him. If you can hit him in the mouth once early, and they are highly capable, he starts to flinch.
Like Tom Brady.
He starts to see ghosts.
Like Tom Brady.
I'll take Tom Brady's toughness, mental and physical, over Aaron's
Skip
any day of the week.
The man drop like hot rocks.
Okay.
When somebody get close to him, I mean, the guy breaks the line of scrimmage and he drops down. So stop playing. This is what we know.
Though.
I heard this.
You don't want to get hit.
In 15 games, Aaron Rodgers had 48 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. In the one game against Tampa, he threw two picks and 0 interceptions. Now, we saw
and 0 touchdowns.
0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Yeah, excuse me. We saw what Tyler Heineke got 23 points. We saw Taylor Heineke. What was his name?
Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke. Okay. Heineke. Taylor Heineke got 23 points.
Okay.
Drew Brees, as banged up as he was, got 20 points.
Yeah, but how did he get him on a trick play by Jameis and a 54-yard punt return?
So do you believe?
But they also left a lot of points on the field.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe Mike Thomas caught the first touchdown. He just wasn't challenged. They got to the red zone several times. They settled for field goals. Sean Payton decided to get cute when they were also on the other side. I think they were on Tampa 35, get a 5-yard penalty, end up punting it. But if you really just want to look at this thing in a microcosm, or you want to look at this thing in a huge bowl, or however you want to look at it, you want to look through a stethoscope, it's just time to pass the torch.
It's over, Skip. You hear?
Over?
Yeah, Rodgers.
Tom Brady threw 40 touchdown passes this year, and it's time to pass the torch.
Is that more than 48? Is that more than 48?
Well, 40 at 43 is pretty great.
Well,
who had the higher degree of difficulty? Brady starting over in Tampa Bay or Aaron Rodgers?
But see, he keeps saying he's starting over, but look at what he's got. He made it start. If you want to impress me, go to Cincinnati and do what he's doing. Don't take to it, because you tell me Pro Football Focus is the Bible. Pro Football Focus said the receiving core at Tampa was the #1 receiving core in all of football. That's what Tom Brady linked up with.
Did any of them make the Pro Bowl this year?
Did Tom Brady make the Pro Bowl this year?
No, he should have.
No, he shouldn't have.
Oh,
no, he
stop it. You know it, and I know it. They vote like 5 weeks before the season's over, and Brady had a December to remember.
They will vote 2
He
weeks.
brought this team to a boil right on schedule.
Yeah, but let me reel this back in. So the year Dez caught it, we all remember that year.
Do we?
Do you remember the resilience of Aaron?
He had a pool
Do you
cap.
remember the resilience?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then do you remember the year of the 3rd and 26 who my Uncle Shay Shay tried to pin on me? It was
No, I didn't pin him.
earlier in that year, we went down to Lambeau. Zeke ran all over him, but it just seemed like when we got in the playoffs and we got them in Dallas, they jumped all over us. number 1 seed, 13-3. They jumped all over us, and it was a totally different. It was a total, but we stormed back though. You know, we fought. We got it to a game.
You did,
and we gave up a big third down, and then Mason Crosby hit a 60-yard field goal, like an extra point. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But it was just a totally different Aaron Rodgers. It was a totally different, and I think he's on a mission this year. And you know, if you really want to look at this thing, Aaron was a part of getting Mike McCarthy out of there, and since he's got him out of there, he's been to 2 NFC championships, and you know, he's on a mission to get to a Super Bowl and win another Super Bowl in his mind.
So help me out, young Mr. Scandrick. My memory gets a little foggy here, but just a couple of years back, it was overtime in the cold in Kansas City, and Tom Brady, he was only 41 then. He completed converted 3 straight 3rd and 10s with 3 straight completions.
We had a defense that couldn't stop a nosebleed, and now, you know, they got a defense, and it's totally different. And, you know, Gronkowski is walking out there. He ain't even running no more. You know, and they're not throwing on air. And, you know, to be quite frank, the pass rushers that were on that Kansas City team opposed to the Darius Smith,